suerte. "19 seconds to go. Give me a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Welcome to LoveLine. LoveLine is meant for an adult audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, I don't approve of it.
LoveLine, the world's therapy couch since 1984. LoveLine. Dr. Drew Pinsky, medical doctor, philosopher, philanthropist, certified addiction specialist, the king of transformational media. LoveLine. Mike Catherwood, a former addict, current fitness guru, the ringmaster of the psychosexual addictive personality Big Top.
LoveLine.
1-800-LOVE-191.
Just get on with it.
Yeah, buddy. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Let's call us here in the Trojan Studios. Big show tonight. Big show, you bet. Later on tonight, as it is the end of the week, we want to know what you have to confess. LoveLine Confessional. We've done it now 4 or 5 weeks in a row, Drew, something like that.
Good.
It has never ceased to let us down. Or excuse me, has yet to cease to. It is whatever.
It's good.
It's always good. And our guest tonight. Really the man responsible for this show float. I know Drew likes to take all the responsibility for LoveLine,
it's
but
Carolla.
It's this man right here, the ace man returneth.
Thank you.
Adam Carolla.
Do you notice the way though Adam is sort of scanning the room judgmentally?
Not judgmentally.
Just scanning with a little bit of disdain in your face, a little bit.
All I do is judge, number one. Number two, I love when people say you can't judge. I judge those people. I think they're a-holes. It's different. It's cozy in here. It's nice. It's got a nice warm vibe to it.
You like the sort of brothel-like curtains?
On camera, it's very warm and inviting. In person, it's very 80s porn.
Right, but almost everything is that way. Like if you ever see the Batmobile in person, you'll be wildly disappointed.
Yeah.
But on camera, fantastic.
That's a good point.
And there's certain actresses that fall under that heading as well.
And not to sound uber gay right out of the gate, but Hollywood male physiques.
Ooh,
you know, like action heroes, you see them in movies, you're like, wow, look at that Adonis.
Yeah,
and then you meet them and they're like shorter than me.
Because the camera loves scale. Like they like proportion and scale. It's not really in person. It's kind of about size.
That's why Adam looks so good on camera.
It's why breakfast. It's why they can make breakfast sandwiches look so great on camera, and then when you get one, you're like, this thing's as big as an Oreo. Yeah, this thing sucks. It's about if you take a look at any of these sort of leading men. Your Tom Cruises of the world.
Paul Newman, your buddy.
Paul Newman, yes, they all have great scale to them. But when you see them in real life, there's not that much to them. Although there is a little guy by the name of the Rock.
Yeah.
And
Schwarzenegger, too.
And it's great. Yeah. I was saying that people are asking, well, what's the plot of Fast 6? And I said, the Rock has run out of arm butter. And they have to go to the rainforest in Brazil to get carnauba wax, to harvest carnauba wax because he's out. He's dry.
He's actually
he's dry, and they cannot have that.
The Rock went for a time when he was in the what was the WWF. He was a monster of a man, just a mountain. Then he got like more Hollywood, and he had to like slim him down to fit around other actual A-list actors.
Right.
Now he's just thrown caution to the wind. He's never been more roided out. He just looks like an absolute, just a vascular wall of a man.
Yeah, and though a machine in terms of, like, you really think about the motor in that guy. Yeah. I mean, what it takes. Like, first off, he's working out 3 hours a day, and that's in front of the 14, 16-hour days he's doing on set. He's going from one thing to another. I'm seeing The Rock and Wahlberg's little sneak screening of the movie tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Is it Pain and Gain? Yeah, Pain and Gain. I mean, the guy's just completely... I mean, if you really think about him, there's no difference between him and any other guy who was in the WWE. I mean, maybe the Honky Tonk Man. But what I'm saying... And I'm saying the Honky Tonk Man was above him. Right. What I'm saying. I hope I'm being clear. But what I'm saying, and there's not. They're all just big strapping dudes who played some college ball, and he had a motor, and he had a brain, and he had a plan.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger, same thing.
Yeah,
think about that guy comes over from Austria and becomes Olympia, and then actor, then governor.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, I know you wonder why these people, though, there's a weird thing where they sort of stop being effective. Like Schwarzenegger, at a certain point, is the most effective guy in the world. I mean, he comes here, English is his second language. He wins 7 Mr. Olympias. He takes, they say, oh, you'll never act. You can't speak English. He proves everyone wrong, becomes the biggest action hero in the world. And then at a certain point, knocks up his babysitter, just kind of grabs California, runs it into the ground, just kind of turns into an old idiot. When he turned into my dad.
I think like he just starts. You start reaching for once you reach a certain level of success. Even for those guys who are so driven, everything gets old.
Where are you going?
Like he even banging attractive women becomes like pablum for him. He's like, I must bang hideous housekeeper because she's nearby.
I think, and we've talked about this a lot, that we always do this thing where there's a sexual motor between men and women, but there's the big chasm between that sexual motor between a lot of men and most women, but there's a motor within men as well.
Oh yeah,
and
it's part of that same motor.
We all know the dudes that just work like they're trapped on some sort of like penis island, and if something that looks like a vagina is anywhere in sight, those guys will hop on it. It doesn't matter. It's sort of basically a prison mentality,
right?
Which is like, I wonder if it's part of that motor, which is, I don't think I'd ever engage in gay sex. I'm not into it.
But you'd be a leader on Penis Island.
I might be.
Nonetheless.
I like to think of myself as an ambassador for Penis Island.
Oh, indeed.
But the point is this.
I can see you now.
Is it like
Napoleon hat?
If I was in prison, I'd have no sex. If you were in prison, you'd have gay sex. Yes, because you have a motor.
And if I was in prison, I'd like lavish in gay sex. I'd like swim in gay sex.
You'd be into it.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, I think you guys have more of a sexual motor than I think. Drew, you don't think so, but let's just say you're getting life.
Well, you know what?
You're framed for a crime you didn't commit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back.
But for playing by my own rules.
Yes. By the way, once we hear framed for a crime, you can stop there. We don't need engaged to be married. We don't need framed for what? A crime he actually did? That's not framed. He was framed for a crime. Hold on.
Whoa.
He didn't commit. Oh. Okay, so Drew, let's say you're 23 and you have that sexual motor.
Oof.
Now you're framed for a crime you did not commit this time.
Yeah.
You get thrown in jail. They throw away the keys.
I'm in there with Trucha.
Yeah. And they should just put the keys somewhere in their drawer where we can't get to them.
Not actually
throwing them away seems like a waste of the taxpayers' money.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And if there's a fire, it just seems like there's going to be insurance issues there.
People are going to die.
There's going to be lawsuits. Put it in the drawer. The point is this.
Hardworking metal workers, too.
Yeah, I don't want you to run a prison, but keep the keys somewhere where we can't get to them. I've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean. Make sure the dog can't get to the key ring.
No, the dog holds the key ring.
So, Drew, you go into the prison, a 23-year-old Dr. Drew.
You're right.
And you go,
that'd be a problem.
You'll never feel the caress of another human being's hand or tongue your entire life on this planet. Also, you know what else I don't need in prison jargon? I just thought about this. I just heard about a guy. He got 5 consecutive life terms. I don't need consecutive. 5
Is there a
will work.
10-year interval in between?
He takes a couple Olympic seasons off in between the 2nd and 5th. Like the 2nd, 3rd, he'll be in Maui.
At 98.
Yeah, and then he'll go back to conservative. Don't do the consecutive. We'll do the consecutive math. But there you are. You get 5 consecutive life terms. Framed for a crime you didn't commit.
I'm there.
I'm in. At a certain point. You're 23.
Speaking
you're not going to go your entire life.
We need to talk about Redondo.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of gay sex, we talk about Redondo.
Yeah.
What is that?
Me and Dr. Drew up on stage, by the way.
The Dr. Drew reunion tour.
Sharing
Adam
the love.
and Dr. Drew, yes.
Sharing the love. Redondo Beach this Saturday. That's why Adam's here.
Beautiful place, Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center out
Yeah.
there in Redondo Beach. If you're here in Southern California listening to LoveLine, this Saturday, April 13th, the Ace Man and Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful place.
So, Mike, you would go gay in prison at some point.
I would
right?
be. Dr. Drew is 5 consecutive framed again. Crime he didn't commit. He eventually would get to gay sex. It's off the table. I'm
He's there.
excited. I have a boner on the paddy wagon to.
This is
an excuse to
This
go.
is an excuse.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like my thing with the gay, I mean, the prison gay part is I feel like if I found a guy who was equally not into it as I was, then maybe we could do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
you into this? No. You into this?
Let's go.
No.
Let's
How
go.
much experience do you have on the outside with this? Very limited.
None.
Camp
None.
one time, but there was a sock. It really
Yep.
didn't involve much.
Yep.
So as long as you're not really in this and I'm not really in this, then we can do something because we got to do something here. Do you know what I'm saying?
We had a caller. Remember, it was sort of in that camp a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he's like, am I gay? Because I did, but I was in prison.
I was with a guy. We had each other. We got to be really close. I don't know what the hell we were doing, but I ain't doing it anymore. Am I gay?
Yeah, I feel like it's almost like saying, if the plane goes down and eats some of the soccer mates, are you a cannibal?
Right.
Not if it's about survival.
Right.
If you get back to Westminster and you start eating somebody,
Cannibal.
then you're a cannibal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
still have a taste
Fountain
for human.
Valley? No.
Fountain Valley? No. That's
strange
interesting
enough.
because you see how we gerrymandered the cannibal map. But, yeah, once you get a taste for human flesh,
It's
there's
true.
no
When
going
you
back.
have full pussy austerity, you you're forced into stuff that you wouldn't necessarily.
I think we all have to make decisions at that point, and I'm sure a
Would that
young Dr. Drew.
We'll be in trouble. Would that be posterity? Oh, yes. Thank you.
Posterior austerity.
Yeah.
After you last night's impunity. Alyssa, thank you for calling Loveline. Alyssa?
There
Yes.
you are.
Hi. First of all, long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm a huge fan of all of you gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I was in a relationship for 12 years, and I've only been with this person intimately, and I'm so new to the dating scene, and I'm wondering how long do I wait after dating someone to have sex?
This is a perfect example, by the way, of the different motors between men and women. No man would ever ask this question.
Right.
It would be
Right.
when, like, should I go on a date before I have sex?
Right. Were you married to this guy?
No.
12 years.
I thought
16,
we were going to be married.
16 to 28. What happened?
He just about a month ago told me that he didn't want to be married to me, and that was, what we were kind of going for the whole time.
And he's your age?
He's 2 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. It's probably best.
Yes, for sure.
You don't want to marry the person that you met in the 10th grade
No.
or whatever it is. It's just, that's never good. And look, the good news is a lot has changed in the last 12 years in terms of when it's time to have sex. We stopped judging as a society, and you can do whatever you want.
You can't judge.
You cannot judge. Impossible to judge. But you got to worry about not so much society judging, but that guy may judge a little bit. Sometimes
Some
there's
guys.
some guys.
Some guys, yeah.
Some guys will take you off the list of permanent marital candidates if you have sex the first night.
Or too soon. By their standard, whatever that is, not passionate guys.
Right. Not passionate guys.
No.
So I don't think there's any set anything. It's just sort of when it feels right, when you start vibing,
Was
when
she
you
asking
feel
when-
like you know
was
the
she
person.
asking that, or was she asking how do you...
She wanted to know when was the appropriate amount of time, I think.
Right. I have no idea. I have girlfriends who are sleeping with 2 guys at a time, and right now, the idea of a new guy and that's just not appealing to me yet. But so I kind of just have no clue where to even begin.
Just start dating, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Just really try to enjoy yourself. Enjoy spending time with people. Don't have a big plan. Don't try to get in another relationship. You're only out a month from 12 years, for God's sakes. Take the next year just to get to know people and yourself. Figure out who you are in a relationship, how to date, get some skill with it.
Maybe start with anal.
And then
That's
start
right.
dating. Yeah.
That way, just to...
Well, you're still technically...
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want her
Right.
to
That's
get
right.
any lines blurred. All right. Alyssa, that's a lot of good advice. So just, except for the anal part.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
1-800-LOVE-191 this Saturday, April 13th. Adam Carolla, our guest, and Dr. Drew will be at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Still tickets available. Go to drdrew.com, adamcarolla.com, podcast1.com. Seems like anywhere we can go. You can find tickets. But it's a great place, and Dr. Drew and Adam put on a great show. So this Saturday, Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center, and more with our guest, Adam Carolla. We're going to talk some Mangria straight ahead here on Loveline.
I'm sorry, that number is no longer in service. You'll have to find a new boyfriend.
Loveline's coming back.
if you cheat, do a whole bunch of stuff you normally wouldn't do in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like Simone, is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You'd be like, well, Adam, all he wanted to do was give me oral pleasure for hour upon hour, and then he wanted to spoon, and then we watched Real Housewives, and then he cried, and then my wife would be like, okay, get out of here, bitch. There's no way.
He talked about how he hated masturbation.
A lot of foreplay, a lot of very gentle, lengthy foreplay. Right. That's all you know.
Yeah.
Because
it's a very good idea.
Because your woman knows your thing. Drew, your man of passion. Yes.
Yes.
You enjoy the coitus more than the oral,
Some of
right?
that sounded disgusting.
What I mean is if you were,
but she could identify my pattern.
If you were
yes,
with
yes.
a woman outside, you have your tells.
Yes, there's some tells.
Genitals. Thank you. I just made that up.
If Drew cheated, they could tell by the woman being torn in half just by his
That's
immense
right.
passion.
Yeah.
Actually, Adam, you'll like this. I shed a
Don't hold your
tear
breath.
because I'm sort of taking the Mickey. Yeah, I'm taking
You
the
shed a tire because of what?
tear.
She's taking the Mickey.
tear.
Because she's taking the
Sorry.
Mickey. She's
Sorry.
taking the Mickey,
I
Madam.
wasn't listening.
I cried.
A tear. I got you. I thought you blew a tire.
Because there was a couple, their partners had died.
So there was a
They were-
carpool, and you shed a tire.
Adam,
What happened? Something on the road? Are you okay? You call AAA?
and they were both 80, and their husband and wives
They're both eating?
had
All right. So there's a couple that's
died.
eating, and they're carpooling, and you blew a tire because of what? They threw something out the window?
They threw a Mickey.
And then they got
threw a Mickey.
married.
Wait, so
Okay.
who's Mickey? I lost that part.
Yeah, I don't get that part either. Anyway, look,
this
it
is the
sounds like
best.
a gripping tale. But
It's one of
listen,
my
when you're on the
best.
road out here, you got to be careful. That's the point.
And not cry.
But I get your point. I
Yes.
do get your point.
Allie in
Now, if
Kansas.
you have a space saver spare, it was a full-size spare.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, point received. I understand clearly what you're saying. there.
Allie, please help us.
Somebody tweeted me one of your first and only jokes the whole time we did LoveLine together.
Really?
Dr.
Which
Drew.
one? I forgot.
Nickel for scale?
Yeah, it
Dime
was
for
dime
scale.
for
Dime for
scale.
scale.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten what the setup was.
Yeah.
For that joke.
What was it?
We were talking to some chick from Arizona who was like 15 and dating a 19-year-old, and there was all kinds of trouble. And I just said, "Don't get pregnant, please don't get pregnant." And she said, "Oh no, I'm a virgin." And I said, "Oh, wow, this isn't going to last." So I said, "I'm going to need a picture of your hymen with that day's newspaper next to it once a month, just so I can, sign off on this." And when I said I need a picture of your hymen with that day's newspaper next to it, Drew said, "and a dime for scale." It made me laugh maniacally.
He had the one moment with me, and there was a website.
He made another joke?
He did,
Wow,
and it was
I didn't remember
this one was a showstopper. There's a website, a real website, Cooking with Cum, and they have a book where you can actually learn how to make recipe. And so we were coming up with
Oh my
phony
God.
names.
Gross. It's disgusting.
And Dr. Drew, out of nowhere,
Oh, yeah.
broke out spaghetti and skeet balls.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
mean, it was
Thought
just a showstopper. One 1-800-LOVE-191, the number. AdamCarolla.com, the official website of our guest. Adam Carolla, the Ace Man, returneth. This Saturday, April 13th, he will be with Dr. Drew at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Sally, you want to talk about your vagina?
Yeah, I do, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
Okay, so basically, I just know that I have an ugly vagina.
A what?
And it's an ugly vagina, and it's
Hang
starting
on.
to really...
Well, start with that concept. Let's just start with the conversation about that concept.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
is there such a thing?
Yes.
Yes.
There is such a
Yes,
thing.
there
Yes.
is.
I know. You thought you were leading us down some path.
Well,
of course there is.
there's ones that are unusual.
No.
Unusual is like saying she has an unusual nose. That's an ugly nose.
It's like saying you have an unusual testicle. How bad is it going to be?
But
that's
you can't make
not
the analogy
aesthetic.
to penis to male parts because all male parts, even a beautiful penis, is still somewhat ugly.
I'm
There's
saying-
beautiful vaginas. There's downright ugly vaginas. But in reality, the percentage of vaginas that are truly ugly is so infinitesimal that I have a hard time believing that Sally has
Right.
one.
And were you to come across that, would it interfere with your following through?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Would you even
No.
think about it? Would you even think about it?
Well, no, because it's like if somebody told you before you ate this hot dog that there was going to be a pig's knuckle in it,
Ground in it.
you wouldn't eat the hot dog.
Right.
But that's not the discussion.
Right.
We start eating the hot dog, we start washing it down with beer, and then halfway into it, we bite into something, spit it out, and keep moving forward. So you don't understand. It's not like on the back of your driver's license there's a picture of your vagina that we have to inspect before we go to dinner. By the time
Although
we
you're
find
honest.
out the, pardon the pun, ugly truth about your vagina, she's got a vagina only a mother can love.
We don't
By
care.
the time we find that out, it's Boner City,
Yeah.
it's a handful of boob, it's we're in.
Wait, slow down. I'm a lesbian, so it doesn't
Oh.
really apply.
Well,
to
listen.
that.
But hold on now. This is another
So,
interesting.
wait,
That's
the thing
interesting.
is,
Do lesbians care about that? Or they have the similar kind of thing as men?
And were you born this way, or was it a horrible Subaru accident? Or
well,
Forester collided with an Outback? Thanks, Mike.
well, when I dated guys, it wasn't something that bothered me at all. It wasn't something that I even really noticed at all, or that I never thought of, or anyone ever said, or anything. It never occurred to me.
Right.
Right. But now,
And then,
Somebody said
now-
something to you?
And then after high school, and then I realized that I was gay, or I came out as gay, or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know. It was just something that it's more talked about. I
Well,
guess.
and it's also more
So,
prominently displayed.
yeah.
It's like I never worried about my butt hole until I married Bianca.
She started spending time back there.
Until there was a spelunker in
and
my
yet,
life.
strangely, you've had it bleached and lasered.
Yeah.
And yet you never concern yourself with it.
Well, no, because that was
Is she
radio
sending you back
comedy.
to the bleacher?
No.
shouldn't the bleacher come to you? I feel like that. Look, they can do mobile dog grooming. They can
Certainly.
do mobile
ass
anus
bleaching. It's only a matter of time.
Certainly.
It's only a matter of
So
time.
what are we talking about? Time and materials, but how much equipment are we talking about? You know what I mean?
2013, we have a mobile bleaching van.
That's what I'm saying. They have a bookmobile, they have a bloodmobile. How about a bleachmobile? Write that down, Drew. A fleet, Kelly dudes. We come to your anus.
Yeah, we can be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Sally,
business, whatever you like.
Hi, yeah, hello.
Oh,
is
sorry.
it the labia that you're concerned about, or is it like the overall shape and kind of look of it?
I mean, it's like I don't like the hood of it. I feel like it's too large, and then the labia too. Yeah.
Cow
All right.
injection.
I mean,
Well, hold on. I'll tell you what's going on. There's a lot of guys that don't have a head that's shaped right to go bald.
To go bald.
Shaved head. There's a lot of guys, but there are other guys
Your
who look
son's
good.
gonna have trouble. Your
with
son's
a
gonna have
shaved
trouble.
head. Supposed to have a malformed head.
Yes, yeah.
But the point is this: so now that everyone's vagina essentially has to be cleared out, almost porn-ish. There's no more room for any more pube comb-overs, thus it's all exposed. Like, if every guy had to shave their head, you'd see some guys with some weird-shaped skulls.
Right. So it's the real problem is the trend to shave down.
The trend to shave down mixed with the lesbian sort of focus on the vagina.
Well, I didn't know that lesbians had that focus, but there's also the sort
what
of...
else are they going to do?
What are they going to do? Yeah, it's facial.
Men are focused on it, and they don't care.
But it's FaceTime with the lesbos.
I understand. Men spend a little time down there, too.
I've gotten a complaint about it.
But-
Nobody's ever said anything.
All right, well then get out of your vagina. I mean, you're all up in your vagina. No one's ever complained. You don't like the look.
My question was...
Oh, angry lesbian. Sorry. What daddy do? What happened?
Ew. Oh, that was hideous. That was really hideous.
Listen,
that you said
you're
that.
fine. You're
Wow.
Well, you're angry. So what's up?
What's the question?
I feel like it's affecting my relationships and like I feel like I can't go past a certain point in dating. Like, is it something that I should say? Or
all right, hold on. Put her on hold for a second.
Okay.
All right. She found out she was a lesbian at some later stage in life.
Right.
No one's ever said anything about this, but yet it's getting in the way of her being intimate with somebody. She's a little bit angry. Something's up.
Let me say in Sally's defense, I can empathize because no one's ever commented to me. Well, one girl commented to me, but I was really high on meth, and so was she. So my penis gets an excuse for that night. No one's ever really commented to me that I have a small penis, but I'm definitely conscious of it, and I feel like I have a small penis. Therefore, when I go into certain sexual situations, I'm conscious of it, and it makes me awkward in certain, like the first couple times a woman looks at it. So even if no one's told Sally directly, you have beef curtains or masked moose knuckle, if she in her own head believes it, it's going to make her have some type of hesitance when she goes into certain situations.
Right, but here's the thing about there's subjective and objective, and having a small penis is just
objective.
Yeah, you have a small penis. It's easy to figure. Oh wait, that's objective, and then subjective is
how you feel about small penis.
Yeah, or how you feel about your vagina.
Yeah.
She's described really nothing wrong with her vagina.
Right.
She just has a feeling about it.
Then she agreed with us when we said, hey, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. It's up in here. You're right. But now I got to tell you again, it's getting in the way. It's like,
right.
No,
she's having intimacy issues.
Yes.
She doesn't want to be intimate with somebody.
Does that sound fair, Sally, that it might be an intimacy thing more than the actual vagina?
Possibly, but I mean, I just like... I mean, I've seen porn and, like, I've seen my friends' vaginas. I've seen other girls' vaginas. It's like, mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah, but honestly, and I mean this, I'm being dead serious. All vaginas, like penises, all are different. And just because yours isn't like your friends or your past lovers doesn't necessarily mean it's uglier or prettier. I mean...
Yeah,
much like a guy, a heterosexual guy, a lesbian woman probably likes all forms of vagina.
And when guys are completely preoccupied about the penis, we know it's actually about their esteem.
Yeah,
and women probably have something similar, probably more on the intimacy front, though.
Yeah, well, they're all like snowflakes. They're all different. Some just landed, got ran over by a truck, kind of turned into a mud puddle,
eaten by a raccoon.
That's all. Yeah.
Chris, hello. Thank you for calling LoveLine.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Adam. Drew. Big fans of you guys.
Thanks.
So my question is, I am a high school senior, 17 years old. I started dating this freshman about 6 months ago. And, I mean, there's always the cliched saying that freshmen are very immature and senior boys date them just for sex. And I actually haven't had sex with this girl yet. We've been dating 6 months, like I said. We've gotten close, but nothing's ever been done. And I think, I'm not sure how to put this, but I feel like I love her, but there are times where I want to break up. It's a very convoluted situation.
She's 15?
Yeah, she's 15.
You break up with a 15-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go to college, dude. It's just, there's just nothing positive that's going to happen when you're away.
You're going to graduate in 3 months or whenever it is?
Yeah, June 1st.
And then are you going to college?
Yeah, and that's kind of the basis of the problem is I am going to college, but it's an hour away.
Junior college?
No, Division II school.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's an hour away.
Yeah.
But then you become creepy guy who's going back to your high school to pick up your girlfriend from college.
And also you're all tied up. You don't really establish your life at college. I don't know.
And then when you go to college, having a girlfriend that's in high school, I never went to college, but I imagine that's stigma and baggage, right?
Especially if she's going to be a sophomore when you're in college.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I could see what you're saying.
Do not sleep with her, though, before you break up. Do not. What about the Mangria?
Ah, delightful. My latest invention.
We might need to take more time than just a parting message as we go to break, Dr. Drew. We're going to get right into Adam's new adult beverage, the Mangria. Really just taking the world by storm, Adam.
100,000 bottles plus.
Holy mackerel.
Drew, people have a problem with booze, as it turns out.
Yeah, AdamCarolla.com
Thanks for exploiting
is where you need to go to find out more about Mangria and Dr. Drew and Adam's upcoming performance at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center this Saturday, April 13th. Tickets still available. 1-800-LOVE-191. Straight ahead, we're going to talk about Robert De Niro. That's not a joke, Dr. Drew. We have a call regarding Robert De Niro. And remember, later tonight during the open forum, it's LoveLine Confessional. So get your confessions ready. This is LoveLine.
Crazy Girl romance products are designed to be women and couples friendly. Why don't you take the next step and become wildly seductive, dazzling, and as daring as you want to be? Visit Crazy Girl at www.crazygirlproducts.com.
Don't worry. LoveLine will return right after these words of wisdom.
You mean more advertising?
Yes.
One 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Talking booze during the break with the man Adam Carolla, who joins us today. Mangria, Adam.
Yes.
Did you, when you created this beverage, which I've heard from people who can drink like gentlemen, I am not one of these people. It is delicious. And
you say no to booze, but yes to anal bleaching.
Yeah.
It's a lot of range.
I know.
It's confusing to me.
I'm a dichotomy.
I'm almost the opposite. I'm almost never to booze. I mean, always. I never say no to booze, but the anal bleaching thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes
not so much.
I don't know if
not so much.
I don't know if I. You'd be surprised, and this is why I must be very desperate for attention. But you'd be surprised what you can get me to do if you promise to either videotape it or put it on the radio. And that's where anal bleaching fell in.
Understood.
It'll be a great bit if we go and. All these porn stars are going to the valley and getting their anus bleached. Wouldn't it be funny if you did it? I was like, sign me up.
Oh, I've always had the next Rob Schneider vehicle, which is he gets a job as an Asian lady at Pinky Cheeks.
Oh, that's him.
By the way, which is where I got my ass bleached. Pink Cheeks, yeah.
Sad
out in the valley.
that I even know that. And he's got the big glasses, and he's filming, and it's like all the big A-lister celebrities and stuff are coming. He's doing a crazy, super offensive, over-the-top, like old Asian woman who's ripping going nuts with the wax. But he's got a girlfriend who's, wanting to do Playboy, and he doesn't want her to do Playboy, so he's going to screw up her waxing to screw up the photo shoot. I mean, come on, Pinky Cheeks, Rob Schneider, old Asian woman.
Perfect.
Awesome, right? All right.
Now tell us about Mangria.
Oh, Mangria.
Yes. My question is, certainly you believed in the beverage, you liked it, it was something that just kind of came about, but did you really think you were going to become a alcoholic beverage impresario?
No, I did not. And Drew will know that I look at most of my ideas as sort of throwaways, you know, and I didn't come from a family that said, hey, write that down. That's a keeper. It was more like, huh, what? So I just adopted that mentality, and just my ideas, I just throw it. So I was laughing about Mangria for a year and a half, and then some fan in Napa heard about my Mangria that I'd been making at home and said, you want to do this? And I said, wow, what were we going to do with it? He said, make a label. We'll do it. And I gave him the ingredients, and we sort of dialed it in, and he gave me like 5 samples, and I said, no, this one's the closest, and make it a little more like that. And then you have to design a label and do a whole thing you have to get it approved by the ATF or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And eventually, all right, ready to ship. And I went into it like I went into everything, like, well, who's going to buy this crap? And it's really been like over 100,000 bottles shipped in under 6 months. It's been a great business, but the real business was this, and I've said it. I think I've said it to Drew. I really had this revelation because I've written books, and books are like 110,000 words. They take a year and a half, 2 years to write. You bust your butt, and then you see them used on Amazon for $6.99. And the other thing is, somebody buys a book, and they just hand it off.
Yeah.
I would have people.
That's a compliment too, by the way. When they
I had a woman come up to me in like Cincinnati and go, "Oh my God, I'm a huge fan. I read In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks or Not Talk About Material. I loved it so much. I sent it to my sister in Mississippi." I was like, "Thank you. That's how I get rich." And then I realized a bottle of Mangria and a book are basically the same price. One you can't send, or if you do, you're going to have to replace it. So I basically just had this epiphany, which is we should all be in the toilet paper business and not the toilet seat business.
Adam and I were sitting in Salt Lake City at a bar, and he was regaling me with that. It was about midnight, wasn't it? You're like, no toilet seats. Don't make toilet seats.
I said, Drew, when's the last time you changed out your toilet seat?
That's what he said.
It's the truth.
Drew's like, I don't know.
And by the way,
I said,
right.
All right,
toilet paper. How about toilet paper?
What are you going to toilet paper? It's like, last weekend, another day, every day. That's right.
The type of guy typically who's buying your book is going to take the same amount of time to read it as it would to replace the toilet seat, by the way.
Yes.
The type of guy who's buying Mangria drinks it by the end of the night.
For sure.
Absolutely, and then he's got to turn his friend onto it. But the point is my book, the number of people that said to me, I loved it, I gave it to my dad, and then he gave it to his friend at work, and then he gave it to, and it became like a commercial for shampoo from the 70s, and I was like, and then they told, but no one ever bought. I mean, it sold, 200,000 copies, which is nice, but I will bet you that 3.7 people read every book that came out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is an interesting thing that someone ought to look into. In a weird way, it's piracy, because in the record industry, you can't download that for free.
Yeah.
But I'm going to buy this book and share it with you. And then people do it with music. They do it with movies. They do it with everything. There's a certain percentage of it. Booze, it's sort of like, trail mix. It's hard to do. You buy it, you eat it, you crap it out on the toilet seat you never replace, and then you use our toilet paper.
And you can buy bottles of Mangria at AdamCarolla.com, yes?
Yeah, you can go to buymangria.com if you want to get it. And they're in cities around.
Speaking of Carolla, we have he and I have a podcast there.
Yes, you do.
Podcast One. We all have podcasts.
Yes.
And DrDrew.com, we have a podcast.
Yeah. And I would just like to point out that for all the people that loaned out the book, in 50 Years Wallaby Chicks, I bought 2 copies, purchased 2 copies, because my fat bastard of a father stole one.
Wow. Thank you.
And sweet Dwight Catherwood loves in 50 Years Wallaby Chicks.
Wow. Has he read Not Talk About Material?
No, he has not.
Oh, he will like that one.
He'll like that.
Sarah, hello. Thank you for calling LoveLine.
Hi. Sorry, guys. My voice is gone. I love you guys.
It's okay.
Thanks.
What's up? Thank you.
I have this kind of, for me, it's a recurring nightmare when I'm stressed out. I dream regularly, so maybe like once or twice a week, that Robert De Niro and I are having sex under a piano, and we keep running from piano to piano because Naomi Campbell is chasing us.
Ooh, I was going to say, are you black? Because he only goes that direction.
I am, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
I know that. I was told that later when I shared it with my sister.
Yeah, he's a
that
big
you're
fan
black
of the sisters.
Oh, I got that. Right.
No, that he's into black ladies.
Yes,
yes, he is.
So my question is there a way to retrain oneself?
Is there any possibility that she can get out of this terrible cycle?
Why is it so horrible?
It's disturbing, the things that we do. Robert De Niro is just gross to me all around.
Well, but hold on. Now, is this Taxi Driver Robert De Niro, or is this like Meet the Parents Robert De Niro?
Or Cape Fear?
That's a good call.
Wasn't he going to analyze this?
Analyze this. By the way, did you not see Godfather or Godfather 2?
No. Godfather 2. I know.
It's the best film of all time. Best film of all time.
I'm seeing it. I'm up front. I'm apologizing.
I apologize for not seeing the Shining, but you give me a break.
Well, because I banged on you to see The Shining for like 9 years, and you wouldn't see it.
I saw it.
Okay, shut up then.
Too.
All right, here's
De Niro's unbelievable in Godfather 2.
Okay, all right, I'll watch. All right, but I'm gonna have bad dreams. He's raping me with Naomi Campbell.
It's worth it.
Although that to me would not fall under the heading of a bad dream. You do a lot worse, especially Goodfellas. All right, look. I mean, it could be like Nick Nolte, but a really disheveled Nick Nolte.
That'd be worse.
That would be worse.
Yeah.
Look,
Right,
in terms
I'm trying
of
to step up, not down.
all right, in terms of dreams, you can program yourself before you go to bed. You really can.
Well, it's this dream she's having though sounds like a bad feeling that's getting represented as a dream. And it makes me wonder if you've been through some trauma that just residuals there all the time. When you go to sleep, it pops into, with these images.
Mm-hmm.
So did something happen to you where sex was gross or something bad happened to you with sex not so long ago?
I don't know what you call not so long ago, but yeah, I was kind of forced into anal by my son's father.
Wait, you're what?
My son's father.
Oh, okay.
And is that when the dream started?
I don't know, actually. I can't remember where that falls in the timeline.
I'm going to bet yes. And so it feels like you have all this unresolved, yucky feeling about sexuality that just comes, it's always with you, and then it just comes to a visual experience when you're dreaming. So you got to go deal with, it's a rape. You had anal, you had sodomy and rape. So you got to deal with that.
Do black chicks bleach down there, or is that, and it's culturally insensitive, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes, culturally insensitive. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get at it.
I just don't think it's necessary, right? Because wouldn't the...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
contrast.
The chassis
That's too much of
matches the body.
That's
You're
right.
weird.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a contrast.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm going to go down to Pinky Cheeks and check on
No,
the
you do
clientele list.
research for the movie. With
I'm
Rob.
researching with Rob Schneider.
Sarah, professional help. I mean, have you sought therapy before?
I have not.
Okay.
I think it'd be good. I think a women's support group or something, because it really, it's left. He's left a residual behind, and I'm sorry.
You said behind.
I know.
You're not going to believe this. You're going to think that this is completely coincidental and it's probably bogus. But the next call we're going to take involves someone's significant other waxing genitals for a living.
Ooh, perfect.
So we can maybe get Adam
Another
some
movie
research for his
idea
new
here.
Rob Schneider movie he's going to write. 1-800-LOVE-191. The Adam I'm referring to is our guest, Adam Carolla. Remember, he'll be with Dr. Drew this Saturday, April 13th, out at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. And pick up your Mangria at buymangria.com, adamcarolla.com as well. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Later tonight, LoveLine Confessional. This is LoveLine.
Sometimes celebs like to help out too.
Hi, I'm John Ferguson Moore. People call me Jay.
Hey, this is Wayne Brady.
Cheech and John.
This is Rob Schneider.
Hey, I'm Lisa Lampanelli. This is Jeff Probst. It's Joe Gordon-Levitt.
Hey, this is Katy Perry.
Hello, my name is Johnny Knoxville.
This is D.L. Hughley, and I'm on LoveLine.
Get it while it's hot.
LoveLine.
LoveLine's coming right back after this stuff.
When I found out the cast of this upcoming Celebrity Apprentice, which our guest Adam Carolla is a part of, I'm on board.
Oh my God! If I could create a torture for Adam Carolla, this would be
This was it.
Well,
It was it.
This is absolute torture. Put you in a bunch of celebrities in a room,
I'll tell you
have a blowhard at the front of the room telling you you're not worthwhile.
Leave Gillette out of this. The point is, I'll tell you the torture. I had this. I swear to God, I have a magnetic field around me that screws up all things electrical. And I said, look, how long am I going to New York for? And they said, oh, it could be a month and a half. And I said, I need my TV set. Like, and somebody said, are you going to miss your twins? I was like, huh? Listen, I need my TiVo. I can't be coming home every night after a 14-hour day to a TV filled with, hey, it's the Lady Lobos from New Mexico State playing volleyball.
And by the way,
in
New York,
inter-squad scrimmage. Like, I can't do that. I need my sports center.
You can't set Salvador Gigante either. You can't get that in New York.
You can't bring your TV. But I said, I need something. And somebody said, Slingbox, buddy. That's going to... And I said, it'll never work. And they said, oh, don't worry, it works. I said, not me. I can't. It's not going to work.
Didn't work.
No, I'll tell you when we come back.
We'll get into Adam's Slingbox woes when we get back here. Also, I promise you we talk BDSM. We will do that. Celebrity... It's LoveLine, everybody. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Our guest tonight, Adam Carolla. That's right. The one, the only. Ace Man. It's time to get it on, I believe. Mandate?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mandate, get it on. Mm-hmm. Simone, did you finally find out, did you get confirmation on what BDSM stood for?
Bondage, discipline, sadoism.
Discipline?
Yep, and masochism.
You know what my safe word is?
What is it?
Knock it off, bitch. I keep it simple.
Keep
you know what I mean?
Adam, dear.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I don't want the safe word.
There is that great story about when your girlfriend asked you, the stripper girlfriend, asked you to talk dirty to you, or to be degrading.
She wanted me to talk dirty and be degrading during bed, and I said, not a big fan of your parents.
And she stopped. Like,
She stopped.
What? Right in the middle. Like, yeah.
That's the meanest thing I could think of. And she went real. I mean, I could go. You're a naughty wench.
You mentioned her mom, particularly.
Yeah, I didn't like her mom.
Yeah, that's really hot.
But that's what you want. If you wanted degrading, I'll give you degrading.
Real quick, Adam, before we get to the BDSM call, tell us how the Slingbox went.
It never worked. The only thing worse than not having it is having it when it doesn't really work. It sort of stops. Everything just stops.
I'm surprised you didn't go out and buy a TiVo.
You want to know the only part that made the whole thing worse is in the van with Penn Jillette, atheist and scholar. When you're driving the van, and I'm like, God damn it! I can't. What do I got to do to get my shows? I can't watch anything. And I had a 60-inch plasma TV set, but there was the Lady Lobos on it from New Mexico.
Lobos, right.
And the only thing that could exacerbate this situation worse is sitting next to Blowhard Penn Jillette and saying to him, Penn, do you feel my pain? And he said, I haven't even turned my TV on. And I said, what? What? You haven't turned your TV on? I read. Oh, your poo does not smell because you read. Sits in the tub, by the way. Really? By the way, Penn Jillette in a standard tub would be like an old miner washing in one of those wash tubs, like feet. Are your feet out on terra firma and you're using one of those back that make a pop sound when you get out?
Head to toe underwear.
Yeah, yeah, like an old miner taking a bath.
A pop sound when you get out.
Yeah, I mean, sits in the tub and reads the Kindle. That's what he does. Never turn the TV on. And he wants me to respect that.
No. If you've read In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks, we know the guy who talks about how he doesn't have a TV in his house is
second only to the guy who mentions she's a rescue. This dog's a rescue. I rescued. I got to tell you, the greatest moment of my life is at the park about 3 weeks ago. Ran into one of these blowhards with they can't help but weave the rescue in every single conversation. And my 5-year-old son went to pet the dog and got about 2 strokes in. And then the woman said, I'm a hero. She's a rescue. And my son, who's knows nothing but cartoons and superheroes and stuff, just looked up and said, "From what?" Because in his mind there was something was on
Team
fire.
6 repelled in.
There's a Chinook helicopter overhead. Not you just bartering with a lesbian behind the counter.
No.
But she had the parvo shots. You're not going to throw those in? Throw them in. I'll take the dog for free.
We only have one more break with our guest, Mr. Adam Carolla, who will be with Dr. Drew reunited. Oh, and it feels so good. This Saturday, April 13th, at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Ace Man, you have now done a couple live shows around the country with Dr. Drew. Is it like riding a bike? Sorry to go back to that old adage,
yes.
But working with Drew,
so he's on the handlebars and he's dragging his feet and the goddamn spokes.
That's what I was.
Makes that
getting at.
nice noise.
Exactly that. Yeah, Drew does this. Drew will do the before the show. Like I'll go, all right, Drew, you ready to go? And I go, oh, not in a good mood tonight. Son's sick, so don't expect much out of me. And I go, I do expect something out of you. And he goes, I don't know if I'm into this. Son's got a fever. Wife's on the way out there. I go, well, pretend he doesn't. Get out on stage. And he's like, all right, but don't expect anything. And then the next night we're in Salt Lake, and I'm like, how you doing, Drew? And he's like, not much better. Like, all right, but here's the deal. We split the money. That's my whole feeling. That's the way I'd like to do it. My thing is there should be an option of, I'm not feeling it tonight. Good, 75-25.
So you're saying that your guys' live performances should be like working on commission. You have to kind of go out and earn your keep.
Per syllable. That's how I'd like everyone to get paid. Drew's idea of doing a live show is go, Adam, tell that story where Ray shot water out of his butt.
So we get the question, Adam, tell that story.
Yeah.
Adam goes, well, let me Drew, you tell it.
That's right. He
It's
did
Adam's
a good
story.
job.
It's Adam's story.
He did a good job telling it.
All right.
And Drew will go, like in the dressing room, we go, no one wants to hear my stories. Like, listen, get out there and dance, monkey, dance. And he does, and he did. And we got into some stuff about having his own cadaver signed to him as a young student and stuff like that. The stuff I didn't know. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Would you go to? Is it a felony if you were to take like pieces of that cadaver home with you?
I don't know about felony, but you sign a thing that you're going to treat it a certain way. It's going to stay in a certain place and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you named the cadaver, right?
Yeah. A lot of people had names. I don't think we had a name.
You said you had a name.
Fred, I think it was Fred, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions from actual life today of the Mikester that I need to run by you, and I'm glad you reminded me.
All right.
3 questions. 1, I just recently re-upped, what do you call it, my driver's license.
Right.
Renewed,
yeah.
Right.
And I'm now donating my body to science.
Good.
If I die.
Good.
What's really goes on with those bodies?
Well,
what's going to happen to the Mikester?
First, we sodomize them.
Can I tell you this? I went to a penis enhancement enlargement doctor when I was doing a man show bit.
Oh yeah.
And I said,
cadaver tissue.
What?
I'm sorry.
What do you do here? Jesus Christ!
Don't encourage him.
You would make the world's worst ventriloquist because you'd actually step on the dummy's jokes somehow. Yeah. Cadaver. This is what he does. By the way, didn't I yell at you about this a week ago? I said, stop doing this.
Yes.
Stop jumping in. You have an answer.
Right.
Understood.
Well, I've come to the conclusion. It's like
cadaver tissue.
Yes.
Your
penis.
Tissue. When I said to the doctor, what are you doing to plump that dude's chode? He said, that's just tissue.
Yeah.
And I said, where do you get it? It's donated. I said, from whom? He said, no, this is stuff, when you put the thing on the license, that's where you get it. I said, that's not what you're thinking about, kids seeing again and guys, having kidneys that function and stuff like that. You're not thinking about taking some guy's dork and plumping it up.
Do Dr. Drew, they look at a guy's cadaver like mine and they look at the penis and they just go, well, we got to figure it.
Doesn't come off the penis.
All right.
No, they get that somewhere else.
Yeah. See, because my like
you
leg.
have none to spare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, and then we'll get back to Dr. Drew and his Tourette's because I've come to the conclusion of where it comes from.
Right.
Girl's first day of her period, you finish inside of her. Really, how much lower are the chances of getting a girl pregnant on very first day of
bleeding?
Yeah, flow.
How much lower?
Yeah.
You see, the problem is you don't know. They can ovulate again. I mean, it's lower because it's evidence that whatever that egg that got.
Okay.
But they can not ovulate. They can ovulate. An egg can sit around for extra long period of time. So it's lower, but it's not
tremendous. It's not low enough that you'd want to.
Yeah.
It's
a lot lower. Okay. It's a lot lower.
What is the actual pee hole called on a man?
Urethra.
Okay, there was an argument that that's the whole tube to the genitals. Like the actual hole is still the urethra medically.
Do you understand this question?
No, I understand what he's saying.
The tube that leads the pee out the hole is the urethra.
Yeah, but it's like saying, what's the hole of the crazy straw called? It's called the crazy straw.
Okay.
But
all right, no, it's a
good name for a penis.
I didn't know if there was
There's different. The urethra is broken down to different regions. Like there's a prostatic urethra. It depends what part of the urethra you're moving along.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Adam.
You know how to measure the penis, by the way, Mike?
Is it 2 inches behind the butt crack?
No. It's center of the anus. I think it's going to make you feel good about yourself.
Okay.
Center. You got to use yarn and then lay the yarn down on the yardstick because you're not going to be able to bend. Center of the anus.
Okay.
To just past the tip.
Just past the tip. Okay.
Okay. And if you want to go once around the balls, that's your thing.
So like the way they measure, 2x4s are not actually 2x4s anymore.
Yeah, they're 1.5 by 3.
Right. So the penis deserves a little nod, a little
give
tip.
it a half an inch. Bust it up a little bit. Dr. Drew, his Tourette's. It can be frustrating, but I've come to the conclusion he does this not out of malice, Adam. Roy Jones Jr. at his peak in the middle of the night when he was just he was untouchable. He would go entire rounds where he wouldn't even throw a punch, just dodge guys. He was forced to try to invent new ways and techniques of boxing because he was that physically talented.
Right.
He was so gifted that he didn't even have to really rely on technique.
He would play basketball games, not pickup games, but semi-pro basketball games the afternoon before the fight.
And then just
everyone else in a hyperbolic chamber.
Yeah.
He's playing point guard for the Louisville Fighting Hens and playing minor league basketball games before the fight.
That's crazy.
So my point is that because he had so much raw physical talent, natural God-given talent, he actually couldn't just rely on plain old boxing. It was boring to him.
Right.
He had to do just crap stuff out in the middle of the ring off the top of his head. Dr. Drew is like that mentally. There's so much going on. There's so much information
piles out,
just raped into his brain through medical school and the research and everything. He can't just simply say I'll wait 10 seconds for Adam to get this joke out.
Right.
I'll wait for Mike to get this tease done before I talk about what I'm doing. His brain just explodes and it goes all over the place.
I think you're being far too kind to him.
Of course,
way too kind. Yes. It's a neuroses. It's a sort of a thing where you can't stand. You can't stand not jumping in, and you feel for the person in a weird way. You feel like I must get involved. I must help this thing out. We met some asswipe at a bar. I don't know if he told you in Vegas. The guy came up. Drew and I are sitting at the table. It was 9:45 in the morning. He says, "Can I buy you guys a drink?" Drew just got a Starbucks. I just got a beer. So we go, we're good. We're good. And he goes, "I want to buy you guys a drink." I said, "Well, we just got our drinks, but thank you. I want to get you guys a drink." He starts talking about old Bushmills 1600 or something. Glenfiddich, I got a deal, whatever. Finally, at a certain point, I go, "Fine, we'll take a shot of that." I give it to Drew. Drew does the chick sip on it where he purses his lips and nothing passes. He just goes, and then he sets it down, and I start sipping on it. And next thing you know, I finish it, you know? So now I got a buzz going. It's like 9:45 in the morning. I got a beer. I got the Glenfiddich thing going on. And then he goes, let me get you guys another drink. And I said, we're good. We're fine. He's got his drink. I got my drink. Thank you for buying us a drink. And he goes, let me ask you guys a question. What percentage of the time would you say you're a-holes? So I go, all right, now you got to leave. So he leaves, but of course he's on the same flight as us. He's on the same flight as us. So then we get to the airport in Salt Lake City, and we're standing by the baggage thing because stupid Drew had to check a bag, and now we're standing there by the baggage thing, and here comes the guy. And he's standing there, and he goes, hey, cabs are downstairs, rental cars are upstairs. And he sort of looks at us, and we go, thanks. And he goes, all right. And he turns around and he starts walking away, and then Drew goes, hey, come back here. And I go, what I start yelling, Drew?
Re-engage!
Re-engage! Re-engage! Re-engage! What are you doing? Re-engage! What are you doing? He's walking away!
Don't re-engage!
And he turns back around, and Drew like puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, I hear you. It's okay. And the guy turns and walks away. I go, this guy's an asswipe. He's an alcoholic asswipe.
Screaming that at the top of his lungs at the airport.
What are you doing? But he feels like he has to jump in. He literally had to go fetch the guy calls an asshole in Vegas and get us back over to the baggage carousel.
If you'd like to be a part of this type of comic genius, of people reminiscing about the good old days and creating new memories together,
you'll hear about the flags.
Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew together at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center this Saturday, April 13th. AdamCarolla.com for everything going on in his world. Not Taco Bell material. In 50 years, we'll all be chicks. Both available everywhere books are sold. Adam. Oh, Mangria, by the way. Pick up your bottle of Mangria if you're a drinker. And Adam, it's always a pleasure, man.
Mike, you are doing a great job on this show.
Very nice of you to say. It means a lot coming from you. It's time for the open forum, people. If you have something to confess, remember it's 100%. 100% anonymous. I make up a fake name for you. Get anything you want off your chest. It's cathartic. It feels good. It's therapeutic. 1-800-LOVE-191. It's time for LoveLine Confessional here on LoveLine.
Yeah.
It's time for you to give us your opinions and insight.
Mother has old-fashioned ideas.
Well, I don't approve of it.
Here's tonight's open forum.
All right, Drew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just laughing so hard. I feel bad when
you
Adam...
do not.
I do.
Not the way you laughed your ass
but
off.
But they tell me that's not funny. Don't re-engage.
Re-engage. Screaming, re-engage. Now, mind you, the way he tells the story, I look like a total asswipe.
Yeah.
But what happened was the guy came back around sheepishly. He was now sobering up, was like giving us a peace offering. Like, and because we were sort of distracted and he was a swing and a miss by that guy's part again, we sort of, it was another sort of misadventure between it. He kind of like gave us that, oh, you guys are assholes look, and walked away. And I thought, hey, 1 second. I get you trying to help us. Thank you. We get it. We're fine. It's all cool. I just sort of closed it. And he was happier. I did what I intended to do. The guy was better. All right?
I'm sorry.
Everything was better.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go down that. I didn't mean to.
I made it better.
I didn't mean to put you in that position.
I made it better. But his point about my Tourette's being a weird neurosis about people.
Helping people.
Yeah, that's in there.
Fair enough. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. It's time for LoveLine Confessional. This is easily one of our favorite open forums. For a bunch of reasons. One, it's entertaining to hear people just confess stuff that they've kept secret this entire time. But also, it really does seem to be helpful to you, the callers, to just get stuff off your chest. It's totally anonymous, so you have no reason not to do it. And it could be something small. It could be something big. All you got to do, call us up. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. And I'll give you a fake name, so it's totally anonymous, and you just confess something. Something that you've kept a secret. It'll make you feel better. Trust me. Let's start with line 4. In Orange County, this is Oral Hershiser.
I like my name.
Good morning, Miss Hershiser.
Well, I have never told the truth to anybody about when I actually lost my virginity.
How old are you?
Right now I'm 37.
And how old do you say you were when you lost it?
I say I was 15, but I was 13. And this is a question also for Dr. Drew, because I was babysitting one night, and I just started gushing blood. I was about 13, and it was after I lost my virginity. Is there a way to know if I really miscarried? I mean, it was clumps of blood. I went through a pack of my...
No, there's not a way to know, but that's an interesting question. But the whole thing, a 13-year-old having sex is very traumatic.
And I could tell you firsthand. Drew pointed it out to me, and I've really focused on that in therapy. Oral Hershiser, trust me, you should talk to someone about that if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm in a marriage. I've been with my husband for 16 years.
Good.
I'm in a very great relationship, have 2 amazing kids.
Cool.
And it was just kind of came back to me not too long ago. I had this, I remembered. I'm like, wow, I remember that day when I babysat. It was like, she came home and there was, I had blood.
It could have been, however, as you know, it's not that uncommon for early adolescent bleeding to be kind of sporadic and heavy at times and light at other times. So it's not that unusual.
All right. Thank you for the call, Oral. Let's see. Let's go out to Midland, Texas. This is Boss Hogg on the phone. Boss, what do you have to confess?
I'm just really, really dissatisfied with my sex life with my girlfriend, and I've never told any of even my friends.
Oh. Hold on, what's the problem?
She makes me feel like I'm not enough for her. She started bringing toys into the bedroom and everything, stuff that's bigger than I am, you know?
What's wrong with that?
And how does that make you feel inadequate? Just from the sheer size of the...
Yeah, like she's using stuff that's not just a little bit, but quite a bit bigger than I am, so that makes me feel like there's no way I could ever be enough for her.
You better ask her if she's happy. You know, who care? What do you care what she brings in if the whole net experience is something good for her? You know?
Yeah.
Ask her about it.
All right, dude. Thank you for the call, Mr. Hogg. Let's talk to line 6, Sunset Beach. Is this Ramon Deckers?
It is indeed. How did you know?
How are you, Ramon Deckers?
I'm good.
There's 3 Dutch kickboxing fans out there listening that are just on the floor laughing.
Good.
But
Well
they're
done.
the only people
Because
that
I
I
certainly
mentioned.
have no idea.
Ramon Deckers, famous Dutch kickboxer. Go ahead, Ramon.
So I don't know if you know what Rocky Horror is, but
Rocky Horror Picture Show, yes.
Yes, I'm part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show scene. I can't tell you which cast in Southern California, and
South Pasadena Rialto Theater.
That one closed, but thank you.
Oh, okay.
Flatter.
It's the only one.
I played Janet. I'll tell you who I play, and basically she pretends to have sex with the guy who plays Rocky on stage.
Right.
And so I have this very specific fantasy, and it's just been getting worse, about actually having sex with the guy on stage in front of an audience.
Well, that's nothing to confess about. That's no big deal.
Interesting, but well done.
And the thing is that I'm not an exhibitionist normally.
It's okay. Listen, I'm sorry, Ramon, but we have people confess about lying about being a doctor to their wife for like 4 years. We've had people confess about raping. So, like, this isn't much of a confession.
Well, you know what? It is for me.
No, hey, listen, like I said, open up the phones to something small or big. It doesn't really matter. Does it feel better to get it off your chest?
You know, it really does.
I'm
There
glad.
you go.
I'm glad to hear that.
Good
Thank
job.
you, Ramon.
Well done.
Let's go to line 1. Hello, caller. Is this R. Kelly?
Yes, it is.
Hello, R.
What's up? Okay, so the other day I was hooking up with a friend of mine, and we were drinking, like so wasted, and he put it in my butt. And I was on top of him, kind of like we were both laying down, and he just put it, while we were laying down. And I lost control. I had to pee. I totally peed on his bed. He had no idea.
Good job.
And and then 3 days later, he texts me, "Why'd you pee on my bed?"
3 days later.
And I'm like, I didn't pee on your bed. What are you talking about?
Sort of an a-hole-ish thing to do, isn't it, on his part?
Yeah.
3 days
How long
later.
have you been friends, and how long have you been sexually active?
We've been friends since '02. Sexually active since '02.
10 years.
And yeah. All right. Well, no one else knows but you two?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a few people. We're on and off.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for the call. Let's go to line 4, Adrian Barbeau. Hello, Adrian.
Yes.
What would you like to confess?
The thing I'd like to confess, I want to get it on my chest, is I kind of been sleeping around with my stepfather's ex-wife.
Your
they're still living
stepfather's ex-wife.
Would that be your mom?
No, that wouldn't be, because he was my actual stepfather since I was about 4 years old. And after my mother and my stepfather separated, he had another wife. And after I went through some struggles and trying to find a place to stay, I stayed at his house for about a month. The moment I left for that month, I found a location to stay, and she's been communicating with me, and something led to another, and we've just been constantly sleeping together.
How long has she been his ex-wife?
I would say maybe about 3-4 months. No, actually, maybe about 6 months or so. They haven't been together whatsoever. They still stay in the same location together, but they've just been unmarried for about 6 months.
You mean they live together?
Correct.
Oh. You don't think this is a little weird and dangerous?
Of course it's weird and dangerous.
All
It's
right.
just, I guess the things that are, prohibited are more, I would say, exciting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it's a situation I hate to be in. I always wish it never presented itself to me, and of course I know I control it, and anytime I want to, I could stop it. It's just, I don't know. She's very nice, I guess.
All right.
Dude, does it feel better to at least get that off your chest?
Believe it or not, it does. You guys are the first people that I know, and hopefully the last.
I'm telling you, there's something about. Thank you for the call.
Might wanna
There's something
straighten
about
that
it
out.
that
Hope-
really does help people.
Yeah, hopefully you'll think about it differently, too.
He's sleeping with his stepfather, and they're still living together. Holy mackerel. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. LoveLine confessional. We've taken a dark turn early. Dr. Drew, I'm ready to tell you this, and I wholeheartedly believe it. We've already talked about unknown miscarriages, sleeping with stepfather's ex-wife that he still lives with. What are some other ones we've taken so far?
Why am I blocking this?
Anal pee-pee.
Anal pee-pee, yes.
Anal pee-pee. The callers we're going to get to next, blow them all out of the water.
All right. Just one caller or several callers?
I have two that I'm looking at online, but there's still space for your call. 1-800-LOVE-191. You get a fake name. It's totally anonymous. It's LoveLine Confessional. Just confess anything you want. Get it off your chest. You'll feel better. But there are two humdingers on the way here on LoveLine.
One call is all it takes.
Exactly.
1-800-LOVE-191. 1-800-LOVE-191. LoveLine's coming back.
1-800-LOVE-191. We are doing LoveLine Confessional. For those of you new to the show, it's as simple as this. Call up and confess something. You get a fake name. I'll make up a name for you. Dr. Drew, please chip in with the fake names if you have something off the top of your head. Well, let's talk to
Stanley Kubrick.
Let's talk to Stanley Kubrick on line 5. Stanley calling from Bakersfield, ironically enough. But I promise you this was a humdinger. Are you ready?
Go.
Go ahead, Stanley.
Hi, I'm actually calling because I want to confess that I've been trying to get pregnant.
And why is that such a secretive thing?
Because my family doesn't know that I've been married for like the past year.
Ooh.
Oh, my. You've been married and no one knows it.
No.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
And why do you keep it so secret?
Because our families are very strict and they would want to do it, the old-fashioned way. And
That's not an explanation. You're 24 years old. You're an adult. How old's your husband?
26.
And why do you have to keep it so secret? You're nearly 30.
Very good question.
No, both of our families are very old-fashioned. And
We understand that.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
You're not 9 and 12. You're grown adults. Why are you keeping it a secret? You essentially could have done it old-fashioned, and you're grown adults getting married. Why do you have to keep it a secret?
Besides the fact that we don't live with each other, we still live with, inside our homes.
Stanley, we're going to ask one more time. Why didn't you do it? Let me make it easy on you. Why didn't you do it the old-fashioned way, the way your parents wanted you to, with this guy?
I just didn't, because they've never really met him.
They've never met this guy.
That still was not an explanation.
They've met him.
Why not with this guy? Why haven't they met him? Why didn't you do it the old-fashioned way? Why, Stanley, did it not happen with this guy?
Because it just feels that I don't have to. If I love this guy, I don't feel that I have to stay as.
Then why is it a secret? Why is it a secret? You see how circular you are.
That's why I'm kind of waiting to get pregnant so I can just be like, well, we've already been married. I'm showing them, we can move on. Besides the fact of them trying to get them out of their old-fashioned ways.
Okay. So the parents just crush the kids.
It's
where she can't get out from under them unless she comes in with a baby.
Yeah. Like, instead of proving it to them that they're worthy of having a adult relationship by moving out and getting jobs and getting an apartment.
Still don't understand why not the old-fashioned way?
Yeah.
Was it another gypsy or something?
Yeah. Listen,
No.
you weren't going to get to the bottom of that, but it blows my mind that, like, the crux of the matter wasn't the fact that that's a 26-year-old and 24-year-old living with mutual families. Yeah. Caller 6 in Union City. Hello, is this El DeBarge?
Hi, yes it is.
Hello, Miss DeBarge.
Hi. So my confession, one of my best friends and I, she and I are both gay. We've both been knowing we're gay for like as long as we've known each other. She has been in a relationship for quite some time now.
With a guy or a girl?
With a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually live together, but she and I have been messing around on the side.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the strangest part is, it's purely physical. There's no emotional connection there other than us being friends.
Even Don Draper wants to stop doing that.
Yeah.
And what's weird is I feel like our friendship has not changed. But it's almost like it's gotten stronger, and we keep the two very separate. And the worst part is we have a lot of mutual friends. Her girlfriend and I, we have mutual friends, and we do hang out the three of us together with our mutual friends.
That's horrible.
And make it seem like there's absolutely nothing going on.
That's a tough one, man.
That
is a tough one.
You need to stop.
Yeah.
You really do. But, okay. Do you have any plans to not continue down this road, or is this something you're hoping to keep a secret forever?
Well, that's a good question. It's weird. We've talked about it, and I don't know where she stands on the guilty part of it, but I don't feel guilty, but I feel guilty for not feeling guilty.
That actually makes sense. I get that.
You know.
Okay. Do you honestly though? Have you talked to a professional about this, or are you totally opening up to us for the first time to anyone?
And it's driving me crazy. I've never told anybody, and I'm a girl, and I need to tell my girls my secrets, and I can't.
No. You need to tell a professional, and you need to get to the bottom of why your intellectual mind knows that you should feel bad about this, but you don't truly feel bad about this. That's serious.
That's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Does it feel better to at least get this off your chest to us?
Yeah, a little bit. I never really thought about talking to a professional until you mentioned it.
No, you should for
Yeah,
sure.
because you don't sound like an evil person, but you're recognizing what you're doing is evil. You know?
Yeah, I do, because if someone did this to me, I think I would. Oh gosh, I would end it in an instant.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Well, thank you for the call, and I hope it at least got some therapy out of getting it off your chest. Thank you for calling.
It's interesting how people do not think about these horrible things until they tell somebody else.
I honestly think that's the value, Drew, of
you're
telling someone
right.
else. It's
You're
like
right.
you just kind of hearing it come out of your mouth, you go, wait a second.
No, listen, I'm accustomed to these kinds of things, but even I am surprised at how just talking about it is helping people.
I hears you, brother. We're going to line one. Who are we talking to, Dr. Drew? This on
Frank Castle.
Okay, that didn't really work with the fake names.
Well, we blanked that out.
Let's go to Frank Drebin. Frank Drebin, hello.
Well, that was my Frank. That was my fake name. But
Frank Castle. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Punisher.
Yes.
Anyway,
the Punisher.
Last year, my girlfriend, she had an abortion, and we're both cool. We're both okay. It was, we both are very aware. We're 31 years old each, and I've never told anyone, and she hasn't told anyone as far as I know. And it just seems like in this world of sharing, with Facebook and Twitter and everything that we share, it just seems kind of interesting that that's not something we wanted to share, and we kind of just kept it together, and we're okay. Like, we don't feel like either of us have any unresolved issues with it.
Right.
But it just feels like I don't want to fake feeling bad or anything weird, because it is kind of like a stigma.
No, but you're how old are you, dude?
31.
I'm 31.
And she's your age?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my age.
Yeah, I mean you're under absolutely zero obligation to tell anybody else, but I can understand how
But
it's just something that's eating you up inside. Yeah.
But it's weird that you have not, and it has some more energy than I think you realized.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to ask. Like, what, should I tell a best buddy, or it's not something I want to tell my mom exactly, or
How does it feel to tell us?
It feels really good, actually.
Yeah,
my heart has slowed down beating a little bit.
Yeah, so my instinct then would be, tell somebody you can trust.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and what should I be looking for? Like, I'm not looking for judgment. It was
just
we
looking
feel,
to
we feel like we're adults, and we took care of a situation that was difficult. Yeah,
There's many times there are things about how, listen, consciousness itself, in my opinion, and is certainly the self, and certainly certain emotional experiences are intersubjective. They're shared with other people. You can't really fully experience things alone. And there's something about this that you seem to want to have with another person without feeling ashamed, without feeling stigmatized, and you ought to talk about it with somebody. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, dude. Thank you for the call. Let's go to line 5. This is Rick Tockett.
It's Don Draper.
Rick Tockett, hello.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, pretty good.
What's up?
All right. So, me and my ex-wife have been split up for about 8 months now, and
How long did you stay together?
we were together for 8 years.
Okay. How old are you now?
I'm 26,
All right.
and we went through a rough patch when we first got together, and while we were separated, I slept with her sisters.
Oh my God!
There's a plural there. How many sisters?
2 of them.
You slept with 2 of your ex-wife's sisters?
Yeah, it's both of them. She's the youngest, and she has 2 older sisters, and I slept with both of them.
Holy moly!
And that's not the worst part. The worst part is 6 months later, the middle sister popped up pregnant.
Oh.
Oy vey.
Yeah, and there was two other guys, both really dark-skinned, and the baby came out blonde hair, blue eyes, just like my two children have.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and...
Is this family just a total mess?
Well, nobody knows.
Well, but I mean...
We do.
Yeah, in spite of nobody knowing, are they just a total mess?
A little bit.
Okay.
Does it feel good to get that off your chest, Rick Talkett?
Yes, it does.
Thank you for the call. I have to end with this one. I don't know if I can take much more. Hello, caller on line 6. Is this Mr. Draper?
It sure is.
Hello, Mr. Draper.
Okay, here's a story here. About a year ago, me and my older brother, he just got back from overseas. We decided to have a wild night and party.
Time out. When you say overseas, he was fighting a foreign war, or was he partying?
No, he was in the service.
Okay.
He just finished his tour.
All right.
And
Makes a big
came
difference.
back. And what ended up happening was I accidentally, we both were doing heroin, and I accidentally got him to kind of overdose. And, I almost killed him that night. He thinks he overdosed. Everyone thinks, mom, dad, sister, we all think he was the one who OD'd. We got him, to talk to some people. He got his life straight. But, according to the doctors, he almost died that night. And I feel really, really crappy about that. I mean, I almost...
Wait, I mean, whoa, hold on. I'm not, by no means am I trying to defend you, but at the same time, you didn't hold him down and inject him, did you?
No, I just kept edging him on, man. Like, come on, man, do more, man. Let's just keep doing this.
Although not behavior I endorse, you still didn't make him OD. No matter how, people have free will.
Yeah, I just still feel guilty, though.
Yes, I can understand.
The influence, but, as a result, he kind of got his life back in order. He stopped doing it.
Yeah, it sounds to me, I was going to just tell you this, it sounds to me like you're using this as an excuse to keep using. I feel so bad, I got to keep slamming heroin. Cut it out. Get sober. Stop it.
And don't edge people on to
cut it out. Go get treatment, dude. Stop it.
Yeah, I stopped. He stopped too, but I just feel bad that I feel like I almost killed him that night.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Draper. That's something I could actually see the real Don Draper doing.
Yeah, for sure.
1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. On the next Love Line, a open forum that Dr. Drew came up with, a brilliant one, might I say. We want to hear about your most random hookup. Sometimes you end up getting it on with people in the most odd fashion. It just out of the blue comes out of nowhere. You could have met them as a tour guide at Disneyland, and next thing you know, you're humping on Tom Sawyer Island. But sometimes things happen in a very unorthodox fashion. Unorthodox fashion. We want to hear about it. Your most random hookups. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. We always tell you, do not get into relationships with people you work with. It comes back to bite you in the arse. We're going to hear about it straight ahead on LoveLine.
Brought to you by the makers of Trojan brand condoms. With so many stimulating products, all triple tested for quality, it's no wonder Trojan is America's #1 most trusted condom brand.
Okay, so this is Disneyland, and then over here is Disney's California Adventure. So there's a lot of construction going on here right now, and I guess he's the architect. This thing's been leaking since opening day, 2001. That's the best they can come up with, is the yellow wet floor thing. Pretty sure they'll kick you out for this. If you had never been to California and you came here first, you would have to assume that everybody in California loves to raft. We just go rafting all day. This is a good place to get your camera wet. You want to hear something really annoying? This is a train-themed section of the park, and apparently California was the only place that had trains, or the Disney designers are unaware of the fact that trains suck. This is the Taste Pilot's Grill. And I'll tell you what I can taste is the idea that that jet engine turns on and just fries all these people. This area is supposed to be Fisherman's Wharf, but I I've never been assaulted here or asked for money, so not very realistic. I have a plan to train these ducks to stand butt to butt. So far, so good. This is the most insulting part of this entire place. Ooh, a Ferris wheel. Isn't that the same ride they had back in the 1800s? Thanks, Disney. We have a bunch of vintage recreations of billboards, like this one, where that dog is attacking that chick. This one from the 50s. Only I'm pretty sure that guy originally wasn't in it. Uh-oh. Howdy, Mickey. Oh my God, I'm totally starstruck. He owns the place. Might be blood. This is my favorite place here. This appears to be some like little kid restaurant, but a secret lies within. Sweet relief from sobriety. A full bar. People in wheelchairs love watching roller coasters. It's like having no legs and watching people on a trampoline. This place is pretty much just like any old beach city boardwalk, except for less bullies, you know? When you're 10 years old and your mom drops you off in Santa Cruz, it's only $5. And then some guys come up to you and ask if you're a local, and you say no because you don't know what they mean. And they punch you and take your money. Less of that. These are some of the most beautiful, totally fake waterfalls in California. This is a terrible idea. I'm going in even though there's a better than average chance I'm going to get bit by a brown recluse tarantula. Or even worse, a goddamn scorpion. What if there was a scorpion that had fish hook teeth? It stuck its teeth into you and you couldn't get them out because they're like fish hooks, and then it just kept on stabbing you with its tail. That would be horrible. So Bugs Land is right next door to the Tower of Terror, which is one of the stupidest rides of all time. Basically, they take you up in an elevator and just drop you, and it's supposed to be fun. And they open the window at the top or the door so you can see out. Like, ooh, it's so scary. I'm in an elevator and it's falling. Even though I'm aware that it's run by a multi-billion-dollar company and they're not going to really take many chances with getting sued, so it's probably reasonably safe. Whereas you can go in a shitty building in any town and ride an elevator that's much more dangerous. So that was Bugs Land. Bye. We laid eggs in your hair. This is Disney's version of Hollywood Boulevard. But anyone who's ever been there knows that
all I'm saying is they may have nothing to say, Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
But Candace Swanepoel, Jessica Gomes, Alyssa Miller, they could be great guests on LoveLine, right?
You're just saying.
I'm just saying they would be very valuable.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hello, Veronica.
Hi.
Hi.
Don't make fun of me. I'm losing my voice.
No, we're not making fun of you at all. What's up?
Okay. So, in my defense, this is my first time ever doing anything like this. I've always kept that golden rule is don't mix business with pleasure.
Yeah.
But this last weekend, I totally threw out that rule. And I hooked up with one of my coworkers. And everything's cool. Like, after it happened, I talked to him at work. Everything was fine until I asked him out to lunch a few days later. And he totally stood me up. Not only that, but he won't text me back. So I guess my question is, seeing as he won't talk to me outside of work, how do I bring up, like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Or should I just, like, drop it?
Drop it, Mike.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately giving you the he's worried you're getting too attached, so he's putting up some barriers, and ultimately that tells you all you need to know, right?
Yeah, I guess I just needed to hear that.
It's the truth. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you went into this with your eyes open, though. I mean, you probably didn't think that this was something that was going to blossom into a beautiful relationship.
Did you hook up with him
You know what? As naive as it may sound, I totally did, because I was so into him, and like we hit it off, like personality-wise. Like that's what really attracted me to him.
I believe that. I just meant, like, did you hit it off ever outside of work, or was this always something that happened on the job?
I never even hung out with him outside of work.
That tells you all you need to know.
You kind of got to nail that down first before you think that it's going to be something more. And you're new to this, like you said.
He probably has a girlfriend on the outside.
Yeah, you don't really know
Oh, my God. My friend was telling me that.
Yeah.
Don't say that. I feel so much more stupid now.
Why? It's not your fault. You don't know. I mean,
He's a dick. Thank God you learned that.
Yeah.
And rumor has it, he has a kid, too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Rumor has it. Wait, is this a restaurant?
No,
Oh.
no. It's retail.
Retail. Is it Nordstrom?
Negative.
Does it rhyme with slap?
No. I don't even want to say it, just in case, like, he listens.
You're on a show with it has a vast coverage. I didn't say where you were calling from.
What?
I didn't say where you were calling from. It could be anywhere.
Okay. Well, we wear orange aprons. Let's just say that.
No. Home Depot?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy come in and saw his arm off in your depot?
That's all Rune, by the way. Credit to Rune Kincaid. All right, well, listen. Hey, Veronica, you learned your lesson. Luckily enough, a place like Home Depot is so big. I mean, you're not, like, intimately seeing this guy every second. Just
That's funny because I'm a cashier there, and he works, like, the department, like, right across from me.
Well, but
And I'm
still.
if he's if he's a dick, he's the one who's got to live with this, not you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just shrug it off. You sound like a very, very nice girl. I'm sure you shouldn't be hard to find a new young man.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem.
Home Depot, a good place to avoid your coworkers, though, right?
Right. I mean, it's a labyrinth. Yeah.
It's like living in a city, working in a city.
It's. I mean, my friend used to work at Best Buy when we were younger, and he did the same thing. He's like, I just hooked up with this girl, and when I didn't want to see her, I just didn't. You just get lost in the place.
Crazy.
Whereas if you work at I guess
Radio
like
Shack.
the Gap, it was you're screwed because it's next to the person the whole time. Nicole, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What if you humped? Like, I'm trying to. That has to have happened. But what if, like, a radio partner, like a radio team, started banging? Like, how uncomfortable would that be when that?
There's stuff like that all the time. People work in hospitals together, in doctors' offices.
Yeah, but they're not on the air together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that must happen.
yeah, because I remember, like, the legend of, like, Lucy and Desi when it got real bad, and they
Yeah.
still had to go out and pretend to, like, be happy.
Right.
Supposedly it was just. Can you imagine if you and I was a chick, Drew, and or let's make it easier. Can you imagine if I worked in a radio team with a chick, and we ended up like hooking up, and then I dicked her over, and we still had to come and do shows. That's horrifying. Nicole, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I actually got I got through yesterday. I got so scared and nervous, I hung up. But I'm glad I got through tonight.
Okay. What's up?
What's going on?
Okay, so I'm actually getting married this summer, and I've been with my boyfriend, now fiance, for 3 years. But a month ago, I found out when I was 6 months pregnant that he cheated on me several times. And I don't know what to do now. I just hate him.
Okay, time out. When you say you found out, that's a bold claim that he cheated on you when you're pregnant. How'd you find this out?
I found out because I had suspicions, because at the time we lived like an hour away, and I had suspicions, but he can always just lie. And I knew in my gut it wasn't true, so I told him I couldn't marry him until he told me the truth, and he needed to be a man and tell me the truth. So he came clean and told me the truth.
Wow. I'm really sorry, Nicole.
Yeah.
That's no good. Well, I you know what? I don't know what to tell you. This is a big step in your life. I feel inappropriate for me to tell you to go either way.
Or maybe get some premarital counseling.
I was about to say, Drew, do you agree that at least he had the balls enough and the respect for you to man up and tell you?
Yeah, he's now that he's a great father, a great boyfriend. He's just completely
How long ago was that they cheated?
Oh God, my son will be 2 in August, so
it was a while ago. I mean, why don't you?
A while ago, but it's still fresh to me. So it's.
No, I understand. I can understand. It'd be hard to feel safe, and you'd be angry and betrayed, and all. If I were you, I'd talk to somebody or get together in a professional environment where you can really try to work this out, because there's a lot to lose if you don't.
Yeah.
So try it. Okay.
And I feel like sometimes I feel like I purposely like sabotage or like try to be mean to him so he cheats on me so I can leave him.
Well, that's not a very mature strategy, is it?
No.
No.
Hey, Nicole, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff leading you to do these kind of things, but you're a mother now.
Right.
Of a 2-year-old, and you cannot...
Only baby? Only child?
Say that again?
Is that your only child?
Yes.
Okay. You're the mother of a 2-year-old, and it doesn't matter if you're 23 or 53, you have to start being more adult in the situation. And for the sake of your kid, you get into couples counseling with this young man, and you guys work this stuff out. Because you can't start doing this passive-aggressive, I treat him bad so he'll cheat, so I can do this, so I can do that.
It's such BS. It's not always such BS. It's like 5-year-old stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now.
That's
Stop.
my point, is that it doesn't matter what your biological age is, your mommy age now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's step up to the plate, get this guy together, tell him what I just told you, look him in the eyes, and you say, for the sake of our son, if it's a boy. I'm sorry, is it a boy or girl?
No, it's a boy.
Okay, for the sake of our son, let's do this. You know, you've confessed to me. I've done some things to you. Let's put it behind us and move forward from here.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you for the call. 1-800-LOVE-191. I want to remind everybody, this Saturday, the 13th, Dr. Drew, Mr. Carolla, who was with us earlier tonight, they'll be at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. They're going to put on a great show. That's a great venue. Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center in Redondo Beach, California. This Saturday, the Ace Man and Dr. Drew. Correct me if I'm wrong, Drew. Last night we ended the show with a guy who we encouraged to call back.
Yes.
I haven't heard from him.
No.
So, dude, call us back. Anyway, 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Uh-oh. People are looking to broadening their horizons sexually, maybe bringing someone into the relationship. We're going to see what's going on with that next on LoveLine.
Richer looking, better tasting, more appetizing. Sit tight. LoveLine's coming back.
Okay, so this is Disneyland, and then over here is Disney's California Adventure. So there's a lot of construction going on here right now, and I guess he's the architect. This thing's been leaking since opening day, 2001. That's the best they can come up with, is the yellow wet floor thing. Pretty sure they'll kick you out for this. If you had never been to California and you came here first, you would have to assume that everybody in California loves to raft. We just go rafting all day. This is a good place to get your camera wet. They want to hear something really annoying. This is a train-themed section of the park, and apparently California was the only place that had trains, or the Disney designers are unaware of the fact that trains suck. This is the Taste Pilot's Grill. And I'll tell you what I can taste is the idea that that jet engine turns on and just fries all these people. This area is supposed to be Fisherman's Wharf, but I've never been assaulted here or asked for money, so not very realistic. I have a plan to train these ducks to stand butt to butt. So far, so good. This is the most insulting part of this entire place. Ooh, a Ferris wheel. Isn't that the same ride they had back in the 1800s? Thanks, Disney. We have a bunch of vintage recreations of billboards, like this one, where that dog is attacking that chick. This one from the 50s. Only I'm pretty sure that guy originally wasn't in it. Uh-oh. Howdy, Mickey. Oh my God, I'm totally starstruck. He owns the place. Might be blood. This is my favorite place here. This appears to be some like little kid restaurant, but a secret lies within. Sweet relief from sobriety. A full bar. People in wheelchairs love watching roller coasters. It's like having no legs and watching people on a trampoline. This place is pretty much just like any old beach city boardwalk, except for less bullies. You know, when you're 10 years old and your mom drops you off in Santa Cruz, is only $5. And then some guys come up to you and ask if you're a local, and you say no because you don't know what they mean. And they punch you and take your money. Less of that. These are some of the most beautiful, totally fake waterfalls in California. This is a terrible idea. I'm going in even though there's a better than average chance I'm going to get bit by a brown recluse tarantula. Or even worse, a goddamn scorpion. What if there was a scorpion that had fish hook teeth? It stuck its teeth into you and you couldn't get them out because they're like fish hooks, and then it just kept on stabbing you with its tail. That would be horrible. So Bugs Land is right next door to the Tower of Terror, which is one of the stupidest rides of all time. Basically, they take you up in an elevator and just drop you, and it's supposed to be fun. And they open the window at the top or the door so you can see out. Like, ooh, it's so scary. I'm in an elevator and it's falling. Even though I'm aware that it's run by a multi-billion-dollar company and they're not going to really take many chances with getting sued, so it's probably reasonably safe. Whereas you can go in a shitty building in any town and ride an elevator that's much more dangerous. So that was Bugs Land. Bye. We laid eggs in your hair. This is Disney's version of Hollywood Boulevard. But anyone who's ever been there knows that Hollywood Boulevard is filthy and full of filthy people. There's a lot of promotion bull for that movie Tron set up here. Because apparently Disney never got the memo that that movie sucked and no one cared. I'm sure he's enjoying this. So this is one of my favorite things in this park. You go into the animation building, skip all this stuff. And in this room is a zoetrope. Now before I came here I didn't know what a zoetrope was. But now that I do know, when people tell me they don't know what one is, I act like they're idiots. And like I always knew.
Come on, Bullseye. Let's ride like the wind.
That's pretty awesome. So I heard a rumor they're going to get rid of this San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. But I also heard a rumor that Richard Gere put a gerbil in his butt, and that wasn't really true. And it's getting dark, and I'm going to get the heck out of here. So this has been Disney's California Adventure. Greetings from California. Everything under the sun. Except manners. I think this is the bear from Grizzly Man. Yep. I just got sick and tired of that hippie blowing his pot smoke in my face. Did you see my movie?
Hello, my friend. It is LoveLine. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. I give you good deal, bro. Rochelle.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What can we do for you?
Calling because my boyfriend and I have been looking for a third party to join our sexual relationship.
Mike, you're in.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
And my best friend's name keeps coming up. And we've been best friends for about 7 years now. I have established with her that she is sexually attracted to me, and I would be the only other girl that she would have sex with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of introduce her into this whole third-party deal.
Why? Whose idea was this? Yours or is your boyfriend or husband?
He's my boyfriend, and it just kind of came up in discussion. I like girls a lot, and he likes girls a lot too, so why not just throw in another one?
Okay. Have you had lesbian encounters before?
Actually, I had sex with girls far before I ever had sex with a man.
What does that mean? How far? How old were you?
I was 13 the first time I had sex with a girl.
Okay, so you were that's sexual abuse. So what got you going? How old was the girl?
My same age.
I would still. I'm sorry. Hold on, Rochelle.
Boy at 14.
Oh,
yeah.
And Rochelle, this is in no way me like passing judgment or anything, because I had the same thing happen to me. I was just pointing it out, Drew. Even though, let's say, because with me it was a much older girl. Yeah. For Rochelle, 13-year-old girl, it's still child-on-child stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Does it still have the same kind of long-lasting impact?
May not.
Okay.
May not, but it can. I mean, obviously, she went right into a 14-year-old boy and more child-on-child stuff. So there was a lot going on, Rochelle.
Well, and I don't have an unhealthy sex life. I'm very open with my sexuality, very comfortable.
That doesn't mean you don't.
dealt with any uncomfortable feelings that I've had in the past.
Yeah, but having no boundaries does not mean you have a healthy sex life necessarily.
So,
and
I have my boundaries.
Well, doesn't sound.
I have my boundaries.
Doesn't sound like it. And so by bringing another person in, you may end up sabotaging this relationship. But if that risk is worth it to you, and you might ruin a friendship too, but that's up to you.
I mean, my go-to rule on threesomes, Rochelle, is this a long-term marriage and, there's kids involved and there's really high stakes of this relationship dissolving, then it's probably not a good idea, because if I was a betting man, most likely it's not going to end well. If you're just two 20-year-olds fooling around and you want to have crazy sex, go for it. I mean, really, you want to do it anyway. We're not going to stop you, so you might as well have fun.
Well, and I've had threesomes with just girls, and it's worked out just fine.
Yes, trust me, penises ruin things.
Well, that's fair enough.
Penis is attached to male ego, and male ego makes for jealous, rampaging maniacs.
Well, that's one thing that's really nice about our relationship is that it's not really based off of we're not jealous people, and that's why it was a good idea.
No. Time out, Rochelle. I'm not a jealous person. I really am not. I let my wife and her ex-husband essentially went out on a date the other night. They went to go see a comedy show together. They're very friendly. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Not being a jealous person is a grave difference between not having any boundaries and watching the person you're supposed to be in love with have sex with another person. I mean, there really is a big difference. There is a gray area there. And again, I'm not saying this like you shouldn't do it. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. You're a grown-up. You can do what you want to do in the bedroom. But there is a difference between not being jealous and kind of having blurred boundaries.
Well, and I'm someone who's open to a polyamorous relationship.
All right.
So
listen.
It's not, that aspect doesn't bother me at all.
Go for it then. If your boyfriend finds this girl hot and you're cool with it and she seems cool with it, approach her about it. Don't do it in like a way that she's painted into a corner. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't you and your boyfriend get hammered and then like approach her at the same time. Maybe just you bring it up girlfriend to girlfriend and then see how it goes. And if she's into it, try to plant the seed and see how it goes. If she's not, then no harm, no foul.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds perfect.
Thank you. Carlos, hello.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is actually Carlos. I called yesterday. I was a sex addict that had the weird mommy dreams.
Okay. Were you the guy who called at the end of the show? We told you to call back?
No.
All right.
I called during the segment.
Okay.
So, anyways, my deal is I'm a sex addict. I need to have it like at least once a day. If I don't, I jerk off like crazy. My wife, my girlfriend at the time when I met her, she shared the kind of same freaky deaky lifestyle.
Okay, hold on, Carlos, because Drew, needing it once a day, and if you don't, then you have to masturbate. I don't know if that says sex addiction to me.
No, not yet.
That sounds like healthy 27-year-old guy who really loves his girlfriend.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because I, Carlos, and I'm not trying to talk you out of it or anything like that, but it's just the sex addicts that I've clinical sex addicts, the ones who are getting treatments of, the ones I've seen, they're beating off to the point their penis bleeds.
That's right.
And that's not a joke. I mean, they're so horribly addicted to the idea of sexual gratification that they don't understand what's harmful anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's good to know because my wife's been calling me a sex addict for 2 years now. So, I mean, now I can.
No, you just sound like a guy who's really into his wife and is 27 and healthy.
Yeah, she's a stone cold babe too, so it just makes it harder on me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but you were getting into your wife's past, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, totally cool. You rock, man. Pretty much, like, when I met her, she kind of shared the same freaky deaky past. She's like, I'm into really rough, aggressive sex. She looks like a suicide girl. I don't know if you're familiar with that kind of model line.
Oh, yes. My penis is very familiar with it.
So she totally just looks like a suicide babe, and like that's right up my alley, had really intimate sex, like when we first got together, and to interject really quickly, when I met her, she had a 4-year-old little boy, and I basically took him on as my own son. Father was out of the picture right after we found out she was pregnant. So, so we kind of get to the going back, like we have a really amazing sex life in the beginning, Not long after that, maybe like almost a year into our relationship, it just kind of starts to cool down a lot. And she kind of tells me, it's like, okay, well, after talking about a bunch of different times and me trying to pry a little bit, she's like, well, I was, molested like when I was little, and it kind of screwed me up, and that kind of lit the fire for me, like, doing all this stuff and having really crazy sex, and it kind of, not to sound screwed up, but like, and from my point of view, I was like, well, that's, sorry to hear that, that's terrible news, but I mean, like, it lit this fire, it lit this bonfire that I'm sitting there ready to, roast my marshmallows in.
Yeah.
And now, like a year in our relationship, the fire's out, and I'm sitting there with my marshmallows.
Yeah, Carlos, I mean, I understand. I totally get where you're coming from. If you're really sexually attracted to your wife and she opens up about having some abuse that led to her being overly sexualized, it's hard for you, as a guy who's into her, to not want to, like...
Well, what happens is that once they get really attached and start to get intimate and close to you, they can no longer be sexual when they have that kind of abuse.
She's got to talk to a pro, right?
Oh, yeah. Why doesn't she get treatment?
I don't know. Like,
well,
I think she's kind of embarrassed of it, and,
she doesn't want to deal with it, bottom line. So she needs to deal with it. If you want to start having a good sex life again, she needs to be treated.
Danny, real quick, dude, we have like 10 seconds. Go.
All right, guys, big fans. Quick question. I've been hanging out with this chick for a little while. We hooked up last night, and she took her shirt off, and she doesn't shave her armpits. Is that a deal breaker?
Is she from America?
Yes.
That's a deal breaker.
Oh.
Right, Drew?
Right.
Well, I don't know. It's individual stuff, but it's it's unusual in this country.
You live in Northern California? You live in Northern California?
Like oh, yeah. F the Dodgers, by the way.
Oh, screw you, first off. But if you live in Northern California, it might be acceptable.
Well, not like Humboldt area. It's not hippie town.
I'm sorry, man.
Got to go.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody. Good night. We love you. And in this crazy mix of world that makes you think that nobody cares, we do. Be good.
This has been LoveLine. The opinions expressed on LoveLine are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. LoveLine is produced by Ann Ingold. Engineered by Anderson Cowan. Executive producer Norm Pattis. LoveLine is a presentation of Courtside Entertainment Group.
End of message.
The end of a perfect evening.
Something tells me